Today in crypto land, Binance has been hacked for around 7,000 Bitcoin, equivalent to more than 40 million US dollars. Never a dull day in crypto, is there, guys? Now, what happened and what does this actually mean for all users of the Binance exchange and the industry as a whole? Well, according to Binance, hackers were able to obtain a large number of user API keys, two-factor authentication codes, and potentially some other information as well. Now, the hackers used a variety of techniques, including phishing, viruses, and other forms of attack. By the way, in case you forgot, this is not the first time the API keys have been exploited on Binance, but it's the first time they did get Bitcoin out. And as a result of this intrusion, the hackers, of course, were able to withdraw 7,000 Bitcoin, which again is around $40 million worth of crypto. Ouch! Now, the hacks only hit Binance's Bitcoin hot wallet, which contained about 2% of their total BTC holdings. And in the light of the hack, makes you realize just why exchanges only keep a small percentage of their holdings on hot wallets, because they can get hacked. Now, Binance reports that all of their other wallets are secure and are unharmed. Now, in the event that something with that statement changes over the coming days and that more wallets are found to be compromised, we can of course update this story, but at the moment, it does seem that only this wallet has been affected, with other major wallets like Ethereum being safe. The 98% that was not hacked sits in cold wallets, which will have, of course, multi-signature withdrawals set up on them. So they should, of course, remain very safe at this time. But, of course, exchange hack, some people are freaking out for some reason. Well, I want to keep it real here. There are, of course, some hardcore Binance haters out there who just want nothing more than to see Binance burn. I am not one of those people personally. I've been a Binance fan for a long time, but outside of the Internet Hate Index, I think we should actually look at the markets and how the markets are reacting to this event, which at this stage are not reacting very much at all. In fact, at the time of recording this video, Bitcoin is up. Why? Well, let's keep it real and let's keep it in perspective. And I think something that helps with that perspective is looking back at historical hacks to help put this $40 million Bitcoin hack into context. Now let's start off with Mt. Gox #1, which netted hackers 500,000 Bitcoin. And the second hack, the one which actually brought Mt. Gox down, they took 850,000 Bitcoin. That's a lot of Bitcoin, guys. But that was a long time ago. More recent examples probably serve as a better weather gauge of the situation. Bitfinex back in 2016 got hit for 120,000 Bitcoin, resulting in a 36% bail-in from exchange users. Nice one, Bitfinex. But the real action happened in 2018, a year which we saw more than $1.1 billion worth of crypto getting hacked on exchanges, including $500 million in NEM on one hit on CoinCheck, and BitGrail getting hit for $170 million as well. Centralized exchanges are sweet, tempting honeypots for hackers, and they will remain so. The rewards are just too damn big. Now, while CoinCheck actually repaid customers for the loss of that NEM, and Bitfinex issued out the BFX tokens to make good with their customers, the tough reality is that Mt. Gox customers, after all these years, are still out of pocket. And BitGrail and many other exchanges simply collapse when these big hacks happen. And as a user, you're done. It would seem that there are two kinds of centralized exchange here in crypto land: those which have been hacked and those which are waiting to be hacked. Binance is now in the has been hacked category. Congratulations, guys. But the question, of course, I know most of you want to know is, are you going to lose your Bitcoin? And look, I know, we say it all the time, right? Don't keep your Bitcoin on exchanges. Your keys, your Bitcoin. And of course it is true, guys. Exchanges are not banks, but if you want to trade on an exchange, well, you have to leave some crypto there. So if you had Bitcoin on Binance, are you now out of pocket? No. Binance will be using the SAFU fund to cover this incident in full. You heard it right. No user funds will be affected from this $40 million hack, which I have to say is pretty awesome and a far cry from Bitfinex and their 2016 bail-in, where users had to put up their own funds to cover the corporate losses. The SAFU fund was established last year and took a small part of trading fees, 10% to be exact, and put them in a safe wallet as an insurance fund should something like this happen. A move that we can see now is truly paying off dividends for them. And it actually reminds me of Machiavelli and his thoughts on Fortuna in his book, The Prince. The idea was something along the lines of this, and this is some paraphrasing, of course, that Fortuna can be good or bad in terms of a force depending on the skill of the prince. And that any prince, of course, can benefit from good Fortuna, but that only the princes with the most virtue would prepare the needed dams and dikes to be ready for when the floods come. Or bad Fortuna in this example. Thus, it seems that CZ over at Binance has done well to prepare Binance for this flood event. I mean, you have to keep it real. This was a tiny percentage of Binance's just Bitcoin holdings, let alone crypto holdings overall, and an even tinier percentage of the total crypto economy. And so far, I think it is being handled quite transparently, and there's an open dialogue happening with the community, which is, I definitely think, a good thing. And just a real shout out to that kind of transparency as well, because only hours after this happened, Binance took to social media saying basically what had happened and trying to communicate with customers, and that's a welcome bit of transparency. A reminder, as always, too, that centralized exchanges will remain vulnerable. Even the best practices can be overcome. The full-time job of hackers is to try and overwhelm defenses. And if they can succeed, they get millions of dollars. And look, Binance is my go-to for trading, and I currently have a few trades running on Binance, which means that yes, I do have some crypto on the exchange. And some Zilliqa for the mainnet swap, but that's a different story. But well, I guess it's still crypto on the exchange, but always remember, of course, to actually limit your exposure to these kind of events. The total amount that I actually have on Binance is only a very small percentage of my total crypto portfolio. For long-term holdings, always remember to own your own keys. That's why I have a hardware wallet. Sadly, though, the massive amounts of crypto that we see in exchange wallets actually indicates that people, up to this point, remain at least a little bit afraid of, doing that Bitcoin thing. Being your own bank. Guys, get a ledger, get a Trezor, and hold your own Bitcoin. It is super essential. Be your own crypto custodian. Get a ledger, get a Trezor. There's a link down below if you don't have one already. Now, Binance will be conducting a security review, which will include all parts of their systems and data, which, as you can imagine, for such a large exchange, is going to take a while. So deposits and withdrawals will be disabled for up to a week. That's crazy. While the security audit does take place. Now, trading will remain active on the exchange, but still, one of the biggest exchanges being offline for deposits and withdrawals for a week is a long time in crypto land in a fairly large situation, but not necessarily a bad one. And on a wider note for the crypto industry, insurance for exchanges is essential moving forward. And in the many cases where insurance companies will simply not cover the exchanges, then make sure to be using an exchange that has some kind of best practices in place, like Binance and their SAFU fund, or Liquid, which only does a once a day manual withdrawal for all users, or of course non-custodial services that keep you in charge of your crypto at all times. I think that DEXs are going to totally change the landscape of crypto trading when they actually do become even more mainstream and even more utilized by regular people. Also, we can see that custody services are going to be an important part of the infrastructure of crypto moving forward in terms of establishing that real trust in the industry, especially for these big money players who are coming to the game. And we do have those services already, and they're building and getting better all the time, which is great. Fidelity, for example, will give the kind of security to their clients that they will feel comfortable with when they make a $50 million Bitcoin purchase. Multi-signature wallets and slower withdrawals will be the norm for these kind of customers, but they're ready for it for such a large amount of money. It's also worth noting too that we're in the early stages of this industry and that these kind of events are going to continue to happen. It's just part of the game. Anyway, guys, this story is hot off the press, so expect more updates as things unfold over the coming week and we get more info and details about how the hack actually went down and all these different things. But for now, if you have your Bitcoin on Binance, it's kind of SAFU. They lost some Bitcoin, but you're going to be okay. The exchange is taking the loss. So you guys let me know what you think about this Binance story down below in the comment section. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to come out and watch today's video. And if you're new around here, make sure to check out Cryptocurrency Explained. It is a free 5-hour course designed for beginners, but amazing value for anyone who's been in the space for a little bit longer as well. You can find it at thecryptolark.org. There's a playlist just here and down in the description, or you can find it over on Udemy, Cryptocurrency Explained. You guys are awesome. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a thumbs up on it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.